Tarkin isn't the only one stunned. The whole room falls silent, all eyes snapping toward Diona. She starts trembling, sweat trickling down her face as she tries to hold herself together. Tarkin shoots her a sharp look, clearly demanding an explanation. Still shaking, Diona insists she never said anything. That's when Durante finally speaks up. He's been holding it in, but now he can't anymore. He calls her out for lying to Tarkin, saying he saw and heard everything himself. He tells her to come clean. What exactly did she say to Aristine on the morning of the wedding? Diona's voice wavers as she tries to twist the story, acting like she's the one being framed by Durante and Aristine. Her response catches both of them off guard. In desperation, she looks to Mukali, hoping he'll back her up. But Mukali's face says it all. He's furious. He tells her to tell the truth or he'll spill everything she said about Aristine. Now cornered, Diona stumbles. She's drenched in sweat, clearly panicking. Deep down, she knows what she did was wrong, but after everything, her effort, her struggles, her obsession with becoming the ideal woman for Tarkin, she just can't admit it. Instead, she plays the victim, acting like she's being unfairly attacked. Umir lets out a whistle, watching the drama unfold. Then she casually sums up everything Diona's done, warning Aristine on her wedding day, pushing her to the edge until she had to be consoled. She points out how Diona always acts like she's the one who suffered, crying like she's the only victim, when it's Aristine who actually went through hell. Diona, still teary-eyed, keeps making excuses. She brings up Aristine's background, how she's from an enemy country and this is just a political marriage. She claims Tarkin shouldn't give his heart to someone like that, someone who doesn't even know him. She believes she's the one who's always been closest to him. Everyone said she was the one most suited to Tarkin, at least until Aristine showed up. Raising her voice, Diona insists that she'll end up by Tarkin's side in the end anyway. So what's the harm in people finding out a bit early? She says she's guilty of nothing but love, because everything she did out of love for Tarkin. Okay, calm down, Delulu princess. But Tarkin's face doesn't soften one bit. If anything, he looks even more furious. He says she's tarnishing her brother's honor. His gaze pierces right through her as he declares that to him, she's nothing more than the sister of his most trusted warrior. No more, no less. He says she's insulted his wife, and even her life wouldn't be enough to make up for it. And the only reason he's not throwing her in prison right now is out of respect for her brother. Tears stream down Diona's face. She finally confesses her feelings, saying she never wanted things to go down like this. She worked so hard to become the perfect lady for him. So why can't he see her? Watching it all, Aristine finally realizes it. Diona and Tarkin were never in love. Hearing Diona talk about working so hard to be noticed, Aristine remembers her younger self. She also thought she had to push herself beyond limits to earn someone's affection. But no matter how hard she tried, some things just couldn't be forced. Some lines couldn't be crossed. So she understands Diona's pain. She sympathizes with her, quietly offering her empathy. But instead of gratitude, Diona snaps at her, screaming that she doesn't want pity and telling Aristine to stay out of it while she's talking to Tarkin. Mukali slaps Diona right in front of everyone. Mukali, you legend. He's had enough. He tells her love isn't a free pass to hurt people. She's been lying, creating drama, and driving a wedge between Tarkin and Aristine. And yet she acts like she's done nothing wrong. He demands she apologize. Diona clutches her cheek, red and stinging, and yells that she refuses to apologize. Seeing the scene spiral, Tarkin decides he's done wasting time. He orders the warriors to take Diona away. And he warns her, don't ever come near his wife again. Aristine, meanwhile, is still frozen. Everything just happened so fast, she doesn't know what to say. Tarkin walks up to her, telling her straight up. He has no relationship with Diona. She's never been special to him. There's never been passion, affection, or even a thought of her as a future wife. Not even his mother ever considered it. Diona hears every word, and her face turns red from a mix of rage and humiliation. Aristine lowers her head, admitting she used to think Diona and Tarkin were in love. They always seemed close. But she realizes now what she saw back then was only a small part of Tarkin. She didn't know the full story. She even thought about using that perceived closeness as a bargaining chip once. The thought makes her feel a little ashamed. Suddenly, Tarkin pulls Aristine closer by the waist. He looks straight into her eyes and tells her firmly, he's never had feelings for Diona. Not in the past, not now, not ever. She'll never be special to him. He says this loud and clear, right in front of Diona, whose heart doesn't just break, it shatters into pieces. And it's all her own doing. With that same serious gaze, Tarkin cups Aristine's face and says the only one he married is her. Aristine blushes, her heart fluttering from the intensity of his words. Now that Aristine knows Diona's not Tarkin's lover, it hits her like a breath of fresh spring air. Oddly enough, that thought alone feels comforting. And she's not even sure why. Meanwhile, behind them, Diona keeps causing a scene. Sobbing, shouting, denying everything. Still trying to break free from Durante and Mukali's hold like she's some misunderstood victim. Umir, fed up with the drama, fires a sharp remark. She says Diona's been clinging to Tarkin all this time by using her brother's name, and now her true colors are finally showing. Diona, of course, loses it even more. She rants about everything she's sacrificed and how she's shocked to be treated this way by people she thought were on her side. But Umir doesn't budge. She tells Mukali to take Diona away. Right now, Aristine's recovery is what matters most. So Durante and Jack end up dragging Diona out because she refuses to go quietly. Even while struggling, she shamelessly keeps calling out Tarkin's name like he's going to come save her. Mukali, clearly upset and disappointed, turns to Aristine and bows deeply, apologizing for all the trouble. That makes Aristine pause for a moment. Why is Mukali apologizing? Still bowing, Mukali says it's his fault for not raising Diona properly. His anger turns into guilt as he remembers all the lies she told him, the ones he believed before getting to know Aristine. He apologizes again before walking off, looking completely defeated. A little while later, back at Tarkin's palace, the news spreads like wildfire. Everyone's talking about how Diona snapped. Some are cursing her, others just can't believe it. Aristine listens to it all from her office, realizing how fast gossip travels in this place. After the outburst, Diona's officially banned from Tarkin's palace. Tarkin wanted to go even further, but when Aristine heard about Chantra, Diona's brother and Mukali's comrade, she convinced him to settle for house arrest instead. Truth is, Aristine never really hated Diona. Maybe because she always saw Diona as more of a negotiation tool to get to Tarkin. But now, when she remembers Tarkin saying, "You're the one I married," it stirs something. She doesn't quite know what she's feeling, but she knows this isn't the time to get distracted. She still has to deal with the whole pig iron monopoly situation. So she throws herself into work. She writes down her strategy based on what she saw with her monarch's sight, but it ends up taking longer than expected. When she finally finishes, she hands the plan over to Ritrin. His eyes light up while reading it. He's clearly impressed and even praises her idea, surprised that she managed to come up with it while still recovering. Aristine just wants to know if it's doable. Ritrin says it is, but then hesitates when she asks about the timeline. He explains that to finish it on time, they'll need help from the Mage Tower to build a high-heat device, and that'll require A-grade natural magic crystals. The problem is, those kinds of crystals only come from the Calendula mine or the newly discovered Hyeln mine. Aristine knows what that means. Calendula belongs to the Queen's family, and Hyeln is managed by Hamir. Ritrin starts to look worried. They won't be able to get either easily. But Aristine smiles. The Hyeln mine might be under Hamir's management, but it's still a national project. The final say belongs to the king. Ritrin's surprised. He realizes she's planning to go straight to the top. Aristine tells him to contact the Mage Tower and get started. She'll handle the king. Even if His Majesty has been supportive of her scalpel business, magic crystals are another level. She has to prove her project is worth more than whatever Hamir's offering. Meanwhile, in Tarkin's office, the mood is gloomy. His staff tiptoe around him, thinking he's still furious about the Diona situation. But truth is, Tarkin can't stop thinking about something else. The moment Aristine asked him about the lover he mentioned on their wedding night, and he couldn't answer. He was stunned. Back then, he thought it didn't matter if he had a lover or not. He always believed he'd just keep that girl in his heart quietly. But now, when he finally wanted to explain, Umir barged in, furious. She said the problem wasn't just Diona, but also Tarkin for not being clear about his feelings. Then she kicked him out, declaring that guys who leave women hanging just make things worse. As Aristine's physician, she said he was officially off limits. Right after that, Aristine peeked through the door and told him not to worry. She'd take care of the pig iron issue herself. She thanked him for staying by her side and then calmly said, "You can go now." Tarkin was floored. Now, back in his office, he sighs, loud and heavy. Jack sighs too, just as dramatically. Turns out he's been beating himself up for not realizing Diona's true nature sooner. As the sharpest strategist in Tarkin's palace, he can't believe he missed it while Mukali figured it out. It's eating him up inside. He even starts lightly banging his forehead on the desk in frustration. Jack mutters that maybe he should just go back to the front lines. He's lost all confidence in his strategies. Tarkin doesn't answer. He's deep in thought, trying to figure out why he couldn't respond to Aristine's question right away. Then it clicks. He finally understands why. He's in love with her. When he says it out loud, his staff jump in surprise. Tarkin looks confused. What? Was it that obvious? Apparently, yes. Everyone's known for a while. Tarkin's the only one who didn't. Jack bursts out laughing, all his self-doubt instantly vanishing. Aristine requests an audience with King Nepthur to secure the magic crystals, and luckily, he grants it right away. She's led into what looks like a game room. Pretty casual, and it seems like the king has just been playing cards with his subordinate. When the king sees her, he greets her warmly, and she responds with polite grace. The conversation starts off lightly with him asking about her health. Aristine downplays it, saying it's nothing worth worrying about. But the king gently insists that it's only natural for a parent to worry about their child, even if it's just a minor cough. That unexpected warmth from him touches her. Deep inside, she feels this unfamiliar, ticklish flutter, like a spring breeze in her chest, and can't help but blush. She's not used to being cared for like this. She remembers how desperate she was the first time she approached him, feeding him just to win his favor. Back then, it was all about strategy and survival. But now, it's different. She's more relaxed, yet more flustered. This time it actually feels real, like a daughter being looked after by a father figure. Noticing her bashfulness, the king smiles. She really just looks like an ordinary girl right now. No one would guess she's a sharp businesswoman and a skilled politician. Then the king casually brings up the issues surrounding her scalpel business, catching her slightly off guard. Still, she confidently assures him she has it under control. The king assumes she's here to ask for help regarding the pig iron monopoly. But instead, Aristine throws a curveball. She asks for permission to purchase magic crystals. As always, her unexpected request throws the king off. He reminds her that the authority over that belongs to Hamir. But Aristine calmly points out that Hamir's authority is something the king entrusted to him in the first place. Rather than give an answer right away, the king changes the subject, asking if she knows how to play cards. Aristine admits she's never played before, though she understands the rules. The king gestures for a new deck and invites her to play. She's a little puzzled by this sudden shift, but joins him at the table. As they start playing, the king brings the conversation back to the crystals, asking why she needs them. After all, scalpels and magic crystals don't exactly go hand in hand. Aristine explains how they're key to solving the pig iron shortage. The king nods thoughtfully, noting how valuable magic crystals are. Many nobles have already sided with Hamir to gain access to them. If he grants her request, it could cost Hamir an ally. Is that her plan? While juggling the card game and her answers, Aristine stays composed. She knows this is more than a friendly match. It's a way for the king to feel her out. But she doesn't flinch. She tells him straight. Harming Prince Hamir would only create a bigger mess. She's not interested in petty political revenge. All she wants is to fix the pig iron problem. The king watches her carefully as she raises her bet. He matches her move, amused and intrigued. As the game continues, he studies her style. Whether she plays safe or takes big risks, how she reacts to pressure, how she calls or raises her bets. And what he sees is impressive. Even without experience, Aristine plays with calm confidence. Her moves are logical, her risks calculated. She doesn't fall for bluffs, nor does she make sloppy ones herself. Her image remains spotless. He's genuinely surprised and asks if this is really her first time playing. Aristine avoids his gaze, feeling a little guilty. The truth is, her monarch's sight had just activated on the water's surface of a nearby vase, revealing all his cards. It's pure luck, and it feels a bit unfair. She memorizes the order of his cards, and now she knows what's coming next. Victory should be easy. But then her sight cuts out before showing the final card. Now she's stuck. Should she win or lose? Winning might make the king feel insulted, like a beginner just bested him, and he might reject her request out of pride. But if he's the one who suggested the game, does that mean winning earns his approval? She's not sure. The stakes are delicate. The king notices her hesitation. Taking a breath, Aristine decides to stop relying on her sight. She trusts her own read of the king. Before she even sees her next card, she goes all in. That alone stuns the king and his subordinate. She follows it up with a bold claim that she'll win. She trusts the king will recognize her sincerity. She even throws in a cheeky challenge, suggesting she could back down and give him an out if he wants. The king is speechless. He remembers her vow to help fulfill Irugo's dream and sees this moment as her putting everything on the line, not with strategy, but with heart. He finds her boldness refreshing. Time and again, Aristine surprises him with choices he doesn't expect. She's someone who's actually fulfilled his wishes in ways no one else could. How could he not treasure her? The king admits he's truly enjoying this game. It's been a while since anything thrilled him like this. When Aristine walks out of the palace, she's grinning. She's relieved, proud. She remembers how the king laughed when she won, how he teased her, asking what kind of magic she used. She can't contain her happiness. She did it. She got his permission. One day, she truly believes her business will surpass Hamir's. First things first, she needs to contact Ritrin right away. But as she walks, she sees someone nearby, a man with sunlit golden hair standing in the distance. She already knows who it is. But she didn't expect to see him here. And now she wonders, what is he doing here? Right in that moment, Aristine remembers what he said the last time they met, that he wouldn't come looking for her again. So when that man with sunlit golden hair turns around and looks surprised to see her, she instantly recalls the rest of his words. If they ever meet again by chance, they should just treat it as fate and be friends. Still, bumping into him like this catches her a little off guard. Rue greets her with a wide smile, practically glowing like the sun. Aristine blinks, wondering how they managed to cross paths again like this. She greets him back casually, even calling him Mr. Gigolo. Rue chuckles and bows, asking if she really prefers to call him that. He reminds her of their little agreement. If fate brought them together again, they'd be friends. The word friends makes Aristine glance away, her cheeks turning just a bit pink. She doesn't say anything yet. Rue, of course, keeps going. He says friends are a gift from the heavens, meant to meet again. As he gently picks a flower petal that landed on Aristine's head, he tells her he had a feeling they'd see each other again soon, though he didn't expect it to be today. The way Rue acts only makes Aristine more convinced that he really does come off like a gigolo. She finally calls him by his name and asks what he's doing here. Rue blushes a little and admits that he likes the way she says his name. Aristine gets chills, not in a good way. She's starting to think her second new friend might be a little full of himself. Meanwhile, Rue's right-hand man, His aide is standing behind Aristine, frozen in panic. His face goes pale. What on earth is Hamir doing here? He knows his boss is playful, but this is insane. Aristine, still trying to process how this new friend seems to enjoy hearing his own name, doesn't notice anything yet. Rue, aka Hamir, sneaks a glance at his aide and subtly waves him off with a signal to leave and stay quiet. Suddenly, Aristine turns around like she sensed something. Rue asks if something's wrong, and she tells him she thought she saw someone. Rue just shrugs and says he didn't notice anything. Then, with a smile, Rue offers his hand. He says the King's Garden is famous for its beauty and asks her to take a walk with him, to celebrate this little twist of fate. But Aristine doesn't take his hand right away. She just stares at him, thinking about everything he's been saying. After a pause, she finally places her hand in his, but calmly reminds him, this isn't destiny. They're just friends. Meanwhile, back where Tarkin is, things are chaotic in a different way. The moment he realizes he's in love with Aristine, Jack bursts out laughing. Tarkin smacks him on the head. Not only is Jack already bleeding, now he's got a fresh bump to deal with. Jack puts on a serious face and starts analyzing the whole situation. He points out that Aristine clearly doesn't know how Tarkin feels. So of course, Jack decides it's time for him to step in and help. Tarkin doesn't seem totally convinced, but he listens anyway. As Jack brags about himself like he's some kind of love expert, Tarkin, deep down, admits that, yeah, he probably needs help. Aristine doesn't realize his feelings, and she's drawn a clear line between them. Probably because of that dumb thing he said about having a lover. Even though he cleared it up and explained Diona isn't his lover, he hesitated too long, and now everything's complicated. He wants to fix things, but Aristine is busy with her royal meetings. Tarkin looks frustrated. Jack tries to get him to relax. He suggests making Aristine realize her own feelings too. Jack says they're a perfect match. Ever since Aristine met Tarkin, she seems happier. Jack thinks they should set the mood, make things romantic, highlight what Aristine likes about Tarkin. The only problem? Tarkin has zero experience with romance. He seriously starts thinking about what Aristine likes, aside from sweets and business talk. Slowly, his hand goes to his chest. Maybe she likes his chest? Turns out, she really might. Because right now, Aristine is blushing while staring at Rue's chest, thinking there's no way someone that fit is just an attendant. Rue notices her expression and starts to worry. Is he walking too fast? But actually, it's the opposite. Aristine thinks his pace is perfect. Not too fast, not too slow. Smooth. Natural. She smiles, remembering how awkward she felt walking next to Tarkin in the beginning, like a cicada clinging for dear life to a tall tree. Suddenly, she snaps out of it and turns to Rue, asking what exactly he does that lets him stroll into the King's Garden so freely. Rue seems slightly thrown by the question, but calmly says he works in administration. Aristine follows up, asking which family he belongs to. Rue smiles gently and tells her his family probably shouldn't get too close to hers. That raises a few eyebrows in Aristine's head. Is he working with the Queen or something? Rue asks if she wants to know more about him, but Aristine shakes her head. She says it's not necessary. They don't need to know everything about each other to be friends. Rue looks genuinely touched, saying he'll remember those words. Then he turns the tables and asks why Aristine came to see the king. He says she doesn't have to answer if she's uncomfortable, but Aristine says it's okay. Right before she left the game room, she saw the king writing a decree. So it'll be public knowledge soon anyway. She tells him she asked for permission to buy magic crystals. That stops Rue cold. He freezes for a second before asking for confirmation. Aristine leans in toward a blooming flower and softly says she needs them urgently. Rue asks why she didn't go through Prince Hamir, since he's the one managing the crystals. Aristine turns to him, looking confused. With a disappointed expression, Rue wonders aloud. If that was her request, why didn't she just ask Hamir directly? Aristine looks at him, puzzled. She shoots the question right back. Does he really think Prince Hamir would agree to sell her the magic crystals if she asked? She can't help but wonder why Rue suddenly looks so disappointed. But Rue avoids her gaze and mutters something about how it depends on the approach. Maybe Prince Hamir would have made a different call. That only raises more questions in Aristine's mind. The way Rue responds, it's like he knows Hamir personally. Rue stiffens the moment she points that out, but instead of answering, he flashes his usual sunny smile and quickly changes the topic. He asks what else she did with the king. Aristine catches the subject shift immediately, but goes along with it. She says she played cards with the king, and it was actually kind of fun. When Rue asks if she won, Aristine just smirks and tells him to guess. Rue smiles knowingly. Of course she did. He steps a little closer, gently plucks a flower petal from her hair, and casually suggests that she should play cards with him next time. A little later, Aristine and Ritrin arrive at a massive site near the edge of Tarkin's palace grounds. Ritrin informs her that everything's ready to go. They just need the magic crystals now. Aristine is a bit surprised things moved so fast. Ritrin explains that the mages have been working nonstop. Plus, well, money gets things done faster. The furnace they've built is an upgraded version of the current model, made to generate stronger, more concentrated heat. It's Aristine's way to solve the ongoing iron supply issue. Since they can't import new iron, they'll just recycle what they already have. In Irugo, a country rich in resources, recycling isn't something people think about. So this whole idea is kind of revolutionary. Ritrin is blown away, not just by the idea of using scrap metal, but by how advanced the whole process is. Aristine adapted the method from her previous life, where they used electricity. But here, they'll rely on the best magic crystals they can get to generate the crazy high heat they need. Suddenly, someone rushes in with big news. The magic crystals have arrived. Both Aristine and Ritrin are shocked. Even with the teleportation portal, this was lightning fast. They rush over to check them out. The moment Aristine sees the crystals, she's awestruck. She can literally hear the soft resonance that only top-tier crystals produce. There's no doubt. These are the real deal. She quietly notes to herself that the king must have pulled some serious strings to make this happen. She'll have to thank him later. But then the servant who brought the magic crystals flinches. He nervously clarifies that the crystals didn't come from the king. They're from the Hyeln mine, hand-delivered by none other than Prince Hamir. Now Aristine's stunned. Prince Hamir sent these himself? Her mind races. What's going on here? The queen is out there sabotaging her, and yet her own son is lending a hand? What kind of game are they playing? The servant continues. Hamir also asked him to deliver a message. He looks forward to seeing her at the banquet and wishes her success in her work. He also apologizes for missing her wedding. Aristine tells him to thank Prince Hamir on her behalf. The upcoming banquet is an official event, one that will bring together all the royal family members of Irugo. It's meant to celebrate Prince Hamir's return. She figures maybe she'll get a better read on him there. But for now, she has bigger things to focus on. She quickly orders Ritrin to notify the mages. The crystals are here. Once the mages get started, it's like magic. Literally. They begin channeling the energy from the crystals, and both Aristine and Ritrin can't take their eyes off it. They silently pray everything goes smoothly. And then finally, the furnace comes alive. The flames roar and cheers erupt. The scalpel production can finally resume. Ritrin can barely contain his excitement. "We did it," he exclaims. But when he turns to Aristine, she doesn't shout. Her expression says it all, like she's finally breathing after holding it in too long. He chuckles, suggesting that she should head back to the palace early and get some rest. But the second she hears that, Aristine freezes. Her body tenses, and Ritrin can't figure out why. She suddenly bolts, muttering something about having more work to do. Lately, Aristine's been staying later and later at work. It's easier to bury herself in tasks than deal with personal stuff. That night, as she tries to sneak back home, one of the maids catches her mid-tiptoe, slippers in hand. Aristine jumps, clearly not expecting to be spotted. She makes up a reason, says she's just been super busy. and casually asks about Tarkin. The maid tells her Tarkin went to bed early. Aristine nods like that's the perfect excuse and continues to sneak quietly, not wanting to wake him up. But let's be real. No matter how careful she is, there's no way someone as sharp as Tarkin doesn't notice her. She creeps into their dark bedroom without turning on the lights, feeling her way to the bed. Then she hears his voice. "You're late." She jumps. He's already awake. Aristine apologizes, explaining that work kept her out. But Tarkin isn't having it. He mumbles that maybe she should just marry her job instead. Oof. Yeah, he's mad. Big time. Aristine tries to explain herself, rattling off excuses, and suddenly realizes she sounds like a spouse trying to talk their way out of trouble. And honestly, it's not like she doesn't know what she's doing. Ever since he took care of her when she was sick, she's been low-key avoiding him. Every time she looks at him, she feels something stir inside her. It's confusing. As she lies next to him in bed, fidgeting slightly, Aristine starts to wonder what's wrong with her. Is she the weird one here? She was fine before. Why is she suddenly so hyper-aware of him? She tries to push the thoughts away and focus on something. Anything. Pure. Meanwhile, Tarkin silently sits up behind her, staring at her back. His pouty, sulky energy is off the charts. He's definitely not over it. Aristine can feel it. Tarkin's eyes are on her, staring so intensely it's like he's willing her not to sleep. She turns around, ready to tell him to stop and just go to bed. But the moment her eyes adjust to the dim moonlight, she freezes. His figure becomes clearer in the dark. The moonlight gently outlines his face. He looks sulky, his cheeks slightly red. But what completely throws her off is what he's wearing. He's in see-through mesh. Her face instantly lights up like fire, and she blurts out, accusing him of being completely shameless for dressing like that. The next morning, Aristine takes drastic measures. She puts a sign outside the door banning Tarkin from entering until she's done working. Tarkin stands outside the door, slumped forward with his forehead resting against it, completely deflated. Jack is next to him, watching the sad scene unfold. In his despair, Tarkin mutters that he thought Aristine liked his chest. Jack lets out a soft sigh, sympathizing, but gently points out there's a line between sexy and straight-up indecent. Tarkin's had enough. He smacks Jack without hesitation. He vents that things are only getting worse. Aristine is avoiding him more than ever, though at least he hasn't been exiled to a separate room, just demoted to the sofa. Jack apologizes for the bad advice, but Tarkin admits it wasn't entirely useless. He remembers how flustered Aristine looked that night, cheeks flushed and all. It was honestly adorable. At the very least, now she knows how he feels. Jack, meanwhile, shivers a little. He senses mischief in the air. Then Jack changes the subject, handing over some documents. Tarkin reads them and raises his brows in surprise. He glances at the signage on the door again, and grins. That ridiculous sign? Yeah, it won't be there for long. Elsewhere in the palace, the king meets with the queen. He brings up a new issue, the steel supply chain and some suspicious rumors. Apparently, Duke Skeela's been buying up massive amounts of iron. Instead of helping stabilize the economy, he's making the market worse. With a sharp, piercing stare, the king tells the queen to explain herself and to summon her father to the palace immediately. The queen's clearly on edge. Her entire iron monopoly scheme is starting to backfire hard. Even though Aristine's team had been using scrap metal, they still needed a certain amount of pig iron to make scalpels. It basically became a race. Either the queen gives up first, or Aristine runs out of iron. That standoff drags on until the king finally summons Duke Skeela and slaps him with a fine. That changes everything. Now, the tide is clearly turning in Aristine's favor. Still, the queen's faction doesn't back down quietly. They may be wounded, but they're not out. At a bar, things are heating up in a different way. One customer's ranting at the top of his lungs. He says iron should go towards swords, not scalpels. That Iragoans should carry blades, not medical tools. He kicks off a whole public opinion war. He argues that regular folks don't need scalpels. They're just wasting valuable resources. Then he loudly complains to the bartender about how manufacturers are struggling to get pig iron because the princess is hoarding it for her business. Just as he's about to start spouting more nonsense, someone steps in. A man approaches and tells him to quit it. That guy's obviously an Aristine fan. Just look at his headband. And he's not alone. 3 more men from another table come over. They overheard everything, and they're not having it. The moment the ranting guy insults scalpels, they flash their own. Scalpels they actually use. They even threaten to sew the guy's mouth shut for slandering Aristine. The drunk man panics and tries to turn to the bartender for help. Big mistake. The bartender is also a fan. He points proudly to a huge Aristine poster behind him, says the guy's not getting any free dumplings anymore, and kicks him out without hesitation. Back at the palace, Aristine is in a meeting with the mages. She tells them to be on high alert. There might be people trying to stir up a hygiene controversy to discredit her scalpels. Asena tries to say something, but Aristine cuts her off. She already knows. She can feel it. That intense gaze on her back. Of course she knows. It's Tarkin, staring daggers at her from behind. She ends the meeting and tells everyone they'll continue tomorrow. As the mages file out, Asena side-eyes Tarkin's outfit and mutters that he looks like a peacock in the middle of a mating dance. Later that night, under a beautiful full moon, Aristine walks ahead while Tarkin follows a few steps behind, watching her. Finally, he breaks the silence. He asks when she's going to stop avoiding him. Aristine flinches. She denies she's been avoiding him, but deep down, she's been trying her best to stay as just his partner. Not to get caught up in the kindness he shows her. Tarkin quietly, but firmly tells her again. He has no lover. He steps closer. He clarifies. He's not involved with any woman. His voice grows clearer, closer. Aristine turns her head in surprise. She wonders, since when did they get this close? Tarkin's hand reaches out, just about to touch hers, ready to say something. And in that moment, Aristine feels something shift. If she lets him catch her now, maybe, just maybe, their relationship might turn into something completely new. Aristine looks into Tarkin's eyes and wonders, why now? Why is he saying this now? She can't hold it in. She brings up the lover he mentioned back on their wedding night. Immediately, her inner voice scolds her. You shouldn't have said that. You should have just brushed it off. Said it doesn't matter. But then Tarkin responds, calm and sincere. He says he only said that to avoid any messy emotions from the start. That catches her off guard. Her heart stumbles. Wait, did he lie because he was worried she'd fall for him? Her face twists in disbelief. In her defense, she blurts that she wanted the same thing. No love, no feelings. That's why she asked for a partnership, a deal. Her voice stammers. She can't believe that's why he lied. And now she feels angry, frustrated. She always dreamed of freedom, of making enough to gain power, of protecting herself from Sylvanus, of walking away from this marriage with her own 2 feet. That dream was carved in a cold, empty room she was locked in as a child. There was no place for love in that dream. Being loved, loving someone back, that was a fairy tale. She didn't have time for that. Survival was all that mattered. Tarkin, still standing there, continues. He tells her he never thought it'd be a problem. He's the kind of man who stands by his word. He never goes back on his decisions. And he believed this would be no different. But deep in Tarkin's heart, there's a memory. Someone from long ago. Someone who felt like both fate and a curse. The moment was brief, but the feeling stayed. It etched itself into his soul, and for years, he just accepted it. That longing, that emptiness, it was part of him. Until Aristine appeared, wearing tattered clothes yet standing so boldly. Those amethyst eyes of hers burned bright. What started as simple curiosity slowly unraveled into something more. As he got to know her stubbornness, her fire, her odd little quirks, something shifted. That girl from the past faded. And Aristine lit up his entire world. Now, looking straight at her, Tarkin admits, he never imagined a day like this would come. But she changed him. Completely. Irrevocably. He pulls her in close, tells her she's his only one, his wife, and he's her one true husband. Her cheeks flare red, but her face is full of emotions she can't sort out. Tarkin pleads, "Please say you feel the same." Aristine tries to turn away, his hand gently cupping her cheek. With a pout, she mutters, "Why would he want to hear something like that from someone as annoying as her?" That stings, but instead of backing off, Tarkin opens up. He tells her how it gnaws at him when she doesn't lean on him. How it bothers him when she tells someone else things before she tells him. How he gets restless when she comes home late. How it drives him mad when she's sick. But above all, when she draws that invisible line between them. When she pushes him away. It breaks him. He leans in, whispering all this near her ear, and it sends goosebumps down her arms. Her face turns bright red. And then, he says it. He doesn't want to hear those words just for the sake of politics. Aristine knows she should push him away. That's what she planned, right? But Tarkin pulls her closer instead, wraps her up so tight she can't escape. He begs, again. And then she sees them, his golden eyes. They shine like sunlight. And for a girl who used to crouch alone in dark, damp places, sunlight was something she thought she'd never reach. But now it's right in front of her, and she can't turn away. With her face burning, she finally closes her eyes. And quietly, she admits it. He's the one for her too. Their husband and wife. Tarkin doesn't smile, but something in his gaze sparkles even brighter than before. It's so beautiful. Aristine can't look away. The next morning, sunlight pours through the window. Tarkin's still asleep, arms wrapped around Aristine from behind, peaceful as ever. Aristine stirs. Her eyes blink open slowly, and a dazed look washes over her face. Oh no, she's fallen for it. Aristine realizes it. She's totally lost. Not in a dramatic way. It's not a battle or a strategy gone wrong. She just lost to Tarkin's unfairly charming self. And just to be clear, nothing spicy happened between them last night. Nope. He's just earned his place back in bed. No more exiled nights on the cold, lonely sofa. She's already awake, but her body's not having it. She keeps her eyes closed, pretending to still sleep because she doesn't want to leave the comfort of bed. Tarkin, still holding her, gazes at her peaceful face like it's something out of a dream. He gives her hair a gentle kiss, wraps his arms around her tighter, and lets himself melt in the warmth of that moment. Later that morning, the servants prepare their breakfast, since Aristine and Tarkin decide to eat in their chamber. Aristine's still half asleep, poking at her breakfast while Tarkin asks about her sleep with a soft smile. He's clearly happy just eating with her like this. She glances at him, a bit awkward, and suddenly gets it. So this is what marriage feels like. Waking up beside someone, having breakfast, getting asked how you slept. That's why people fall into this. And today, Tarkin's got that glow. Like, sparkling. It's almost unfair. Just looking at him makes her cheeks burn. Tarkin's already wishing this could be their everyday routine. Most of Aristine's work is settled now, so she can't exactly use busy with work as an excuse to avoid him anymore. His eyes stay on her face. There's a tiny smear of cream by her lips. He reaches for it. She jolts, instinctively stopping him, heart racing. His golden eyes meet hers, calm, curious, intense. That look, like he's studying her like prey, makes her feel all kinds of flustered. Then he swipes the cream and eats it. Tarkin's a natural-born hunter. He knows better than to charge in. Aristine's just starting to let him in, and if he pushes too fast, she'll run. But when she doesn't reject what he just did, He breathes easier. She doesn't hate it, because this is all new to her. She's not used to being cared for like this. And Tarkin? He knows he still has a long way to go to win her over. That afternoon, Aristine is alone in the palace garden, lost in her thoughts. Tarkin. He's not a rabbit. He's a fox. A sly one wearing a rabbit's skin. This morning wasn't a one-off. He's still acting strange, in a good way. He even tried feeding her, like actually putting food to her lips. The servants were stunned, just standing there blinking. But Tarkin? He owned it. "I'm her husband," he said, like it was the most normal thing in the world. Aristine couldn't argue, so she let it happen. At first it felt weird, uncomfortable even. But little by little, she's getting used to it. Worse, she's starting to enjoy it. She likes it. She really does. But now her brain won't stop spinning. Her plan used to be simple. Help Tarkin become king, then get her freedom through divorce. If it fails, she's either tossed aside or worse, used or killed in some political power play. This is not the time to fall in love. She knows she shouldn't let herself get comfortable with his warmth, his soft chest, his everything. But how do you resist someone who keeps pulling you closer every night? Her thoughts cut off when someone calls out to her. It's Rue. Not surprising. This little forest corner in the king's garden is a secret spot he once showed her. Perfect for hiding away from the world. After everything, her attendants have been overly protective, so she sneaks off here when she needs real alone time. But Rue? He doesn't treat her like glass. He respects her status but talks to her like she's normal. Just Aristine. That matters more than he probably knows. While playing a game, Rue casually congratulates her for turning the pig iron shortage into a win. It's a compliment, and she takes it. She gives credit to the magic crystals arriving just in time, thanks to Prince Hamir, though she still doesn't get why he helped. Then Rue asks if she made a lot of money from it. And that question catches her off guard. Her body stiffens, a visible flinch. She confesses. She's actually in debt. Rue can't believe what he just hears. How is the wife of a man with a successful business broke? Completely baffled, Rue blurts out if she at least asked Tarkin for help. Aristine shakes her head. Not even once. She shrugs it off with a light smile, assuring him it's not that serious. She knows exactly how Tarkin would respond anyway. He'd just tell her to start another business under his name. Trying to keep the mood light, Aristine reveals that she spent the rest of her money giving bonuses to the blacksmiths. It's fine, though. She'll get royalties from the heavenly steel and magic furnace next month. She's not worried. That makes Rue pause. He tilts his head and asks, "Wait, is she planning to make the production method public?" Aristine's face heats up. Rue suggests she should keep it to herself instead. Monopolize it. If profit is the goal, that's the smartest move. It's a groundbreaking invention after all. But that ticks her off. She jumps to her feet, accusing Rue of thinking she's faking the whole money talk, just to sound modest and noble. Now it's Rue's turn to freeze. Did she just read his mind? Aristine sighs, admitting she's really not that noble. What she wants is to make money without doing all the work. If she monopolizes it, that means she'll have to manage it too. And that's exactly what she's trying to avoid. Rue watches her with amusement, remembering how her face turned red like a tomato when she brought up the heavenly steel. He can't help himself. With a teasing grin, he says the steel must be heavenly because Aristine is a saintess. She instantly shudders. Her whole face turns red. That reaction makes teasing her even more fun. He keeps going, clearly enjoying her flustered state. Flushed and flailing, Aristine grabs a cupcake and smushes it into his mouth to shut him up. Rue bites into the cupcake, pauses. The taste is familiar. Aristine smirks, proudly saying she has the best pâtissier. Rue's expression stays cool, but inside he's a little stunned. Tarkin hates sweets. Yet the man actually stole a pâtissier from Yenika's palace just to please his sweet-toothed wife? He smirks, remarking that Tarkin must be sweeter than he lets on. Still, it's kind of wild. Tarkin, the man who didn't even seem to function on normal human emotion, actually changed after marriage? What happened to him? Curious, Rue tosses out a casual comment about Tarkin, wondering aloud. Aristine blinks. Why bring up Tarkin all of a sudden? Rue plays it cool, saying it just seemed that way. Aristine's smart, interesting. But what is it about her that made Tarkin act like this? And then Rue freezes. Blush creeps onto Aristine's cheeks, and Rue feels his heart skip a beat. She starts to explain. At first, it was just political. Tarkin was supposed to be a business partner. But now, he's turned into someone reliable. A true husband. Rue finds himself staring, a strange feeling stirring inside. Aristine rises to her feet, realizing how late it's gotten. She starts to leave, but Rue, acting on impulse, grabs her hand. Aristine halts for a moment. There's a flicker of disappointment in his eyes. Her brows knit together. She's annoyed. Rue lets go. He quickly pastes on a smile, brushing it off. He says he wouldn't have let go if he thought she'd actually stay. But either way, she would have left, to run back to her rabbit-like husband and those fox-like attendants of hers. Aristine sighs. She's honestly tired of his flirting. She jokes that he'd be better off as a gigolo than an administrative officer. As she walks away, she finds herself thinking about the way Rue looked at her. He's hard to read. And behind her, Rue stands silently, his own expression unreadable. When Aristine gets back to her palace, she stops dead in her tracks. Right there, standing in all his glory, is Tarkin, chest wide open, trying on outfits for the banquet. Her heart slams against her chest. Tarkin usually doesn't care what he wears. This is new. One of the maids squeals, teasing Aristine for having such a gorgeous husband. Aristine plays along, saying it is quite a sight. The maids absolutely lose it. Tarkin walks over, clearly fishing for compliments. How do I look? He asks. Aristine reminds him she just said it to the maids, and she knows he heard it, but he gives her those puppy eyes. He wants to hear it from her lips. So Aristine decides to mess with him a little. She walks up, places a hand on his bare chest, and coolly says, I don't like it when I look up close. Tarkin freezes. She adds that the design isn't really her taste after all. His face falls, just a little, which makes her laugh. She grabs his arm and stops him from heading back to change. With a bright smile, she explains. It's way too revealing, and she's not letting anyone else see what's hers. Tarkin falters, then collapses to his knees. The maids go wild, squealing, gasping, spinning in circles, loving the drama. Aristine is horrified. She tells Tarkin to get up. But in that moment, bam. Their lips brush. They both freeze. This is 100% an accident. But somehow, it turns into the perfect excuse for Tarkin to steal another kiss. And he doesn't waste the moment. He cups Aristine's face and kisses her again. And again. Until she's breathless. She tries to stop him, even tells him to, but he clearly isn't listening. She finally has to push him away. Tarkin pulls back, eyes blazing, face flushed, and clearly not happy. He grumbles that something like this should be perfectly normal between a married couple. Aristine doesn't exactly disagree. She just turns her face away, totally embarrassed. It's not what he said. It's the fact that they were doing it in front of everyone. But when she peeks around, wait a second. The maids are gone. Like poof, not a single trace. Tarkin looks like he's holding back a lot. Instead of pushing his luck, he just pulls her into a hug, rests his chin on her shoulder, and admits it's hard for him. He asks her not to tease him so much. His voice is low, gentle. Then he kisses the top of her head and apologizes for losing his patience. He says he was planning to wait, until her heart matches his. Aristine doesn't say a word. But her heart? It's thumping like crazy. Later, they sit down for a meal together. At first, Aristine thinks he's acting totally normal, like nothing just happened. But no, he's actually way sweeter than usual. He even offers her favorite dish. The thing is, she can't even taste it. Her head's still spinning. A bit later, Aristine excuses herself to go wash up. Really, she's just trying to get a grip. She touches her lips, still warm. The kiss lingers in her mind. Hot, smooth, and firm. And that scent, fire and steel. Like something that could melt her down and reshape her into someone new. She wonders what's going to happen between them. And maybe she doesn't want to know. Because once she does, there's no turning back. As she stares into the water basin, her monarch's sight suddenly activates. It startles her. It hasn't shown her anything in forever. The vision flickers to life. She sees herself looking nervous, and there's Tarkin comforting her. Her cheeks flush again just from watching it. Even the monarch's sight is teasing her now? How did it even come to this? They were supposed to be business partners. This definitely isn't how it was meant to go. Her thoughts spiral until something feels off. In the vision, her expression doesn't match what she's feeling. She looks uneasy. Then the scene shifts. A maid is trying to stop a soldier from rushing toward Tarkin and Aristine. He has a cold, serious look. He announces Aristine's arrest for assassinating the king. Her stomach drops. In the vision, Tarkin steps in front of her, protective. Aristine looks worried and asks about the king. But the soldier snaps at her, accusing her of playing innocent and interfering with the banquet. His voice is tight. He says the king really cared about her. But he's already gone. Aristine is frozen in shock. The king was healthy. How could he collapse at the banquet? The soldier insists there's evidence. Poison, found in her belongings. The vision ends, but Aristine is shaken to her core. Something awful is coming, and no matter what she does, the king's fate might already be sealed.